Well, Stacey, we're here to talk about our word of the year this year, elevate. What do you like about the word elevate in general?
If you know anything about me, I believe that you never arrive. You know, the success is a journey, not a destination. So, and the only way to get better at something is to elevate.
What I love about the word elevate is it's directional. It's intentional, it's directional, there's a movement in it.
I think I love the word because it's multifaceted, and we'll get maybe more into what that means later when we compare it to Thrive from last year. But you can really apply it to every element of our business.
Elevating to me says everything about what you want to do in business or what you want to be in life. It's to be better than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
It's the power of compounding, right?
And so when I think about it, I think about the compound effect, right? Small, seemingly insignificant things successfully compounded over time equals momentum. And I think that when I look at the last several years and the words that we've used, we're at this place where there's going to be exponential growth.
You can elevate inwards. You can elevate our guest experience. You can elevate the memory maker experience. You can elevate our financials. You can elevate our standards. You can elevate our beliefs. So it really covers everything.
Because we're going to elevate our people. It's all about the people. And that's what we've done year in and year out. And the compounding growth that's occurring from that, I think we're going to see some remarkable things this year.
There's really nothing that it doesn't touch. And I think just by virtue of it touching everything, it creates a mandate that it's not like, hey, let's pick and choose the things to elevate. It's all of those things have to elevate.
I just think it's a phenomenal word that encapsulates and can capture the minds and hearts of our folks and our team to give us one direction to go, and that's up.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
You just reminded me of something as you were talking. Don't you have a personal mission statement or purpose statement?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can
And
you share
that's
that?
another reason that I like the word. But I was going to get into that personally.
Okay,
but
we'll
we can
save,
do it.
No,
Yeah.
we'll save it. We'll save
Okay.
it. Oh, that'll keep people listening.
Yeah.
Okay, so for for such a moment as this, why do you like the word elevate for Broad River for 2023?
You know, when I first got here, it was United, and then we went the next year. It was Forward Together. We were in the throes of COVID, and United served that purpose for the rest of the year because we had to come together. Forward Together, it was the next year, and that was about, hey, we're in the throes of this. We're strapping on and going to battle every day, and we got to go forward together. We got to be together as a team. And then last year it was Thrive. We felt like we would really, we had been united. We had moved forward together, and then it's all about everybody starting to thrive again and starting to feel really good about where they were and about, things that kind of settled in. And then this year we come in and, I think it's perfect for where we want to go. And I think the main thing is it's time. It's time. There's been a lot of work that's been done, and I would tell you, to me, Broad River as a company, we're better than we've ever been in every department, in every place because of our memory makers and our leaders and the people we have. It's time for us to continue to go up and not become stagnant, not, get comfortable with where we are, but to just get better every single day.
Yeah, that's right. And it's so profound. Like I agree with you. We're as good as we've ever been across the board in every department. And so one perspective could be, well, we're good. Let's just chill. But to your point, no, we got to get better. We got to continue to go up. So to that point, you lead our retail organization. How are you looking to elevate within retail performance and within your department in 2023?
Well, we have this operating system that Carl and I work together. Carl coming on brought this to us, but I have this phrase that I've always used, which is do more right more often. So more right more often. And our operating system is Mr. Mo, and that's the acronym for that. And basically, I believe that if we do more right more often, we are elevating. So for us, it's if you play sports, I know you did, like you want to get more precise. You want to get to where the less assignments are missed, right? You want to just get better and better, but then you also want to get better yourself, and you want to have a short memory. Like if this one didn't work out, we're going to go to the next one. Doesn't mean it's not going to work out with the next one, right? But for us inside of retail, it's about connecting more with our team. We just had the $1 Million Memory Maker RXs, and they were phenomenal. And our best people helping us. We invested in them by giving them some leadership, training, but they came back and gave us some really strong feedback about how to elevate our performance with our brand new tertiary lender, Qualify, and then also to do more prospecting and to get better at not just taking that guest that comes through the door, and if they buy or don't, whatever, that we understand that there's a lifetime value with that guest, and we need to capture more and more of it. So we're elevating in all kind of small ways, but also all kind of big ways.
You hit on a few things. What are the retail pillars?
Retail pillars?
Yeah.
Our retail pillars are Sleep, CXM, and VIP, Cowbell.
Okay. And then you touched on some things that we like to call cornerstones. Our 4 cornerstones this year that everything needs to, the lens everyone needs to fall through as entrepreneurs within your department, our financial, our innovation, our customer experience, and Memory Maker experience. And you talked about this $1 million Memory Maker RX and the learnings, and the best investment you can make is what?
It's in yourself.
The one in yourself.
Absolutely.
That's right. And so tell us, what is a $1 million Memory Maker RX for those who don't know?
Well, RX stands for Retail Excellence Meeting, right? So it's a Retail Excellence meeting, but also an RX is the prescription, right?
That's right.
So these are meetings that we have with our team where we invest in them. We try to elevate them through giving them time, and we want to teach during those times, but we also want to learn during those times, because we have such great people who have a lot of knowledge. So, and through Mr. Mo, we're highly collaborative with what we do. It's collaboration is one of our core values, but we're highly collaborative in the fact that we don't have all the answers. But man, those people that do it every day, they probably do have a lot of the answers, and that's what we try to do in those meetings.
So it's a very symmetrical, and anyone who's ever been a $1 million Memory Maker for Broad River could attend.
That's it.
And it was over 4 days. You picked one day. So you got your leaders, you guys did 4 sessions across 2 campuses, but every $1 million Memory Maker had one of 4 days or 2 campuses to try to make it and attend.
Absolutely.
And had pretty good attendance, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We had the best attendance, a lot better than last year. And we, matter of fact, Heather and I talked, we're going to have to do it. It's going to be a solid week next time.
Oh, wow.
We've got to do one every day, because it's just,
that much.
The Fort Mill, the ones on the Fort Mill campus, the room was just too full, and probably needed a smaller group.
Okay. Bursting at the seams, I guess.
Absolutely. Hey, I love it. Hey, I hope we get to a point where we have to do it over 2 weeks.
That's right. That's right. Well, those hopefully those days are coming soon. If we continue to get better and elevate and take it one day at a time.
That's it.
And so you did several new initiatives last year, like the Sleep Summit. I'm sure you're bringing that back this year. What are some other events or programs that you're excited about, or KPIs that you're chasing to say, you know what, this is where, we want to be premier. We want to set the gold standard. We want to raise our own standards and set a lot of records and goals last year. Give us a few examples that kind of rise to the top or bubble up to the top for you that are percolating. They're like, we're going to go, like, I'm really excited about this one or that event or this KPI.
Absolutely. Well, Sleep Summit's back on, and man, there'll be a great announcement on that about the venue. I'm real excited about where it's going to be held.
I can't wait. You haven't told me yet.
No, it's great. It's phenomenal, and our team's going to love it. But I want to let the cat out of the bag too soon. I want to make sure that we handle that right. But so the Sleep Summit, it's going to be bigger and better, and we're going to really pour a lot into that. So much came out of that Sleep Summit last year, and it elevated our sleep business, which helped us. Really was a big portion of our increase of the year last year. But we still know there's more there to do. So we're excited about that. We're also super, super excited about just leaning into the C4 process.
And what's the C4 process?
That is our sales process, and it stands for connect, customize, commit, continue, and there's certain behaviors that are inside of, and ways to engage a guest, strategies that are inside of each one of those quadrants. But at the end of the day, we can always get better at it. It goes back to, if you're a sports team, you've got to get better at running the play. You got to get more precise at what you're doing. Yeah. And so we've taken all this time to get it rolled out. And one of the things we found out is that, probably adoption's not as great as we'd like for it to be. But the other thing of that, and I think this is an elevate piece, and I think this is super powerful. If you feel like I'm forcing you to do something, then human nature is going to cause you to resist, right? And a lot of what I poured into the $1 Million Memory Makers and pouring into our leadership right now is it's not something that I want you to feel forced to do. It's something that I want you to do because it's going to create a better result for you and a better experience for our guests, right? So you think about the 4 things that you do for people, not to people, right? You love people for people, and you love yourself for yourself. But discipline, accountability, consistency, these aren't things that you do to people. These are things you do for people and for yourself. But sometimes it's real easy in our world and in our minds for us to feel like people are doing things to us instead of doing things for us. So that's the message that I'm carrying forth this year to help elevate not only the team, but also really kind of elevate the experience for everyone, because I think I'm going to feel a lot better about it, and they are too, if they feel like it's something that we're doing for them and that they're doing for someone and for themselves versus something they're having to do.
I think that's great. And you talked about just elevating on these behaviors. I know we're going after a lot of elevated behaviors and behavioral tracking and lead measures and lead actions. Some of the pushback I've heard from some folks is, is elevate the right word, or how do you win during a recessionary year? So you hear all these things about rising interest rates, banking collapses, but what's the number one buying signal a guest will give us?
Pulled into our parking lot, got out of their car, and walked in our store.
That's right.
And there's everything in the C4 process. There's other things that are layered in there to help our HFCs, our people that are helping our guests every day, to understand that they're there on purpose. Like they've got a reason that they're there, right?
Well, and unfortunately, they're still walking through the doors.
The people who are coming in know exactly where they are. They know exactly what's going on in the world. They've read all the stories and heard all the news, and they're still here.
That's right.
So we got a responsibility to them and ourselves. But the other thing is I think that there are going to be retailers and people out there who are going to kind of retract a little bit and crawl in a hole and talk about how bad things are and everything. But I think the other way we elevate is through engagement and keeping our team focused on the guests walking in the door and what we can do to be better, and also to not change the way that we go about recognizing, celebrating, and engaging with our memory makers, right? Like if you play for a winning team, then you show up every day as a winner. If you play for a losing team or a team that's kind of shaky, you don't do that.
Yeah.
And I think it's super important as leaders for us to do that for our team.
So you no question in your mind, you can continue to elevate through any season, whether it's recessionary or contraction or expansion, right? Yeah.
Look, when you look at the muscle that we've built through the last 3 years, and really, I've been doing this a long time, and I don't wear that as a badge of valor or anything. It's just I've been around for a long time. I've seen a lot worse financial season than this.
Yeah. So
you have too, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't think we're going to go through that. But the thing about it is pressure exposes cracks, and it's just going to make us better once again. And I think that's what we've got to understand is that we can't expect it to be easy.
Okay.
But I would also say when these times come, you've got to go do things that at a little bit higher level of intentionality around making sure that you're prospecting correctly. And these are places that we're going to elevate this year too.
Love it. Love it. And how are you looking to elevate personally, professionally yourself?
Professionally. So professionally, you brought this up a while ago, and so my personal purpose statement is to love God and elevate others. And so when the word elevate came out, I was all in because it's part of who I am, and when you talk about elevating others, it's encouragement, it's connection, it's engagement, it's all of those things. And my word of the year this year is limitless. So I believe in the limitless human potential that each individual has, and I believe that a lot of times people don't succeed at the level that they would love to inside their own heart, because of their own fears and their own, sometimes it's their own preferences, right? So we're talking about principle versus preference. That's the leadership lesson that we taught to our $1 Million Memory Makers. And really what it comes down to is when you lead from principle or when you live from principle, then it's all internally motivated. So if I'm coming from in here with it, then I'm more likely to do it. If I'm leading through preference or I'm living in preference, what happens is everything's external. So it's out of my control. I'm just tossed around by circumstances and conveniences and likes and dislikes. So we're really leaning into that for the year. But I'm personally or professionally, I'm going to be, continuing to read, continuing to, listen to podcasts and continuing just to sharpen the saw. The biggest thing I'm going to do, though, and you and I haven't had a chance to get together, our schedules have been crossed, but I'm going to get out between now and June the 30th, I'm going to be in every store in Broad River Retail, and I'm not going to go try to hit 2 a day. I'm going to go to a store and I'm going to spend a day there.
That's awesome.
And so I will make every store between now and the end of June, and I will go spend meaningful time sitting down with our memory makers, listening to them, helping them, and seeing how we can elevate together.
You've had this program Q4 on the floor in the past. Is this elevated from that? Is it because of the more time per day per store?
Yeah, it's similar. I think the thing here is we just got pulse survey results, and in reading those pulse survey results, what it comes down to is I think that I need to go be there and listen. I think I need to go see all of our people, and it came through the $1 Million Memory Maker RX too, right? It's like I just need to go where the action is, and I can sit up here in an office and think I know everything, and I don't do that. I listen to people that out in the field telling me stuff, but there's power in going and seeing.
Well, I think in the Pulse survey gives us great feedback. Engagement surveys, we highly recommend them,
and we elevate.
And sometimes it's like it tells us what we need to know so that we can respond to it. And sometimes we have to do a better job communicating. So I applaud you for that effort and wanting to do that. Hey, we have this awesome graphic design. We've got these playing cards here, casino style playing cards. We've got the Elevate logo, the Elevate mug, the rocket ship taking off. We're sitting here with our, flanked by our awards from our Chairman's Award, our Best Places to Work Award, and whatnot. And so you had a front row seat to the design of the Elevate graphics. And what do you think of it?
I think it's phenomenal. It's kind of unique to see these things kind of take hold and take place. Like, everybody has their ideas of what it should be, and it's amazing how you take that rocket and you reposition it on and how it and the trajectory and everything that it means, and that logo just jumps off the page. And Jim is just so talented, and he gets into the heart of what we're trying to do when he does this. He doesn't just okay, this sounds good. He lives through it and really kind of becomes part of that. And then the other piece I don't think we have a picture of it, is the little guy in the individual rocket. It looks like a car. I mean, that thing is the space guy, man. He's so cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. So but I think it speaks to exactly what we're wanting to do, and that is continue keep this rocket ship going, up, up, up.
Well, let's keep it going, Stacy. I'm going to bring some of your fellow leaders, Carl and Will, and some of the others to talk about retail for this episode. So, hey, thank you so much, Stacy, for joining us on Stories from the River, a repeat guest. I hope we have you back again.
Love it. Thank you, Charlie.
So when you heard the word elevate, or when we talked about that as a leadership team, what were the thoughts that came to your mind?
The first thing is vision, right? The good book that I read, without vision, the people perish. And vision gives us that, understanding of a brighter tomorrow, and gives us path, and it allows people to really buy in to what we're doing. And I think it's one of the first key components of our operating system in retail performance is vision. And so that when we're able to take that vision down to the ground to create traction, and it's about our people driving it, that's the first thing I think about is elevating other people. How can I, as a leader, go low so I can push people up? I mean, that's where the gold is, right? It's we got to go down, we got to go and dig in and find the gold. Find the gold, and that plays to this so well, because it's about elevating other people, and as leaders, we got to go low.
So, Carl, what does the word elevate mean to you and to your team this year?
It's a license to go and help people thrive. I know we're pulling from that from last year's word, but our business operating system that we run on, that this team has developed, it's called Mr. Mo. We talked a little bit about it in
That's an acronym.
It's an acronym for more right, more often. And what it allows us to do is go find the gold in every person, every situation, every report, and it helps us extract all that goodness because we start from a place that and a mindset of we know that every single person wants to do a great job versus we're going to catch them doing something wrong. And that business operating system and what it means to our team to elevate is we're going to be able to drive that. We're jumping on the Autobahn, Charlie. Last year we learned how to drive. This year we're going to push it to the max. We're going to elevate and find the gold in our people through our business operating system.
I love that. Through Mr. Mo, we're going to go at record breakneck speed with a full year of Mr. Mo.
Yep.
Love it. And then you've also really at retail talking about these behaviors. Riff on behaviors for a little bit.
Yeah. So retail's been around obviously, and there's nothing new under the sun when it comes to furniture, so to speak. But oftentimes companies really start tracking like lag behaviors, as they should, the financials and all that kind of stuff. Well, the retail performance, the front lines of what we do, we started tracking the lead behaviors or the behaviors, right? The things that we actually have control over on whether or not we do with each and every single guest interaction. And so I don't know if we want to tell which ones those are, but it's kind of our secret sauce here. But we've really identified 3 main behaviors that every HFC, every memory maker knows, has been trained on, and continues to be trained on even better, that puts the guest first and gives the guest an unbelievable experience and gives them the opportunity to say yes or no to every single thing that we have to offer. And so as we're tracking these lead behaviors, what we're finding is there's a direct correlation to all the results that we're chasing from a financial perspective. And so instead of muddying the waters and complicating it, we've actually simplified it. We've elevated our sales process. We've elevated our business operating system to where it's so easy to understand. Well, I'm sorry, so simple to understand, takes effort, but it's so simple to understand and simple to gain traction on as well.
I really love the breakdown of, and if people don't know or aren't familiar, that's 4 disciplines of execution.
That's right.
That's 40X.
That's right.
Lead measures, lag measures.
Yep.
And you're saying we're going to boil it down to 3 behavioral lead measures, lead actions, lead KPIs at the HFC level, home furnishings consultant level. The front line. We do that. We've already found there's a direct correlation to all of the lag measures we need.
Yeah.
So beyond that, to go into like the department retail performance, what else are you looking to elevate in 2023?
Yeah. So when we look at, we kind of look at it in 3 different tiers there. So we look at our HFCs, our front lines. We look at it from our sales managers, which is that first level of leadership between our front lines and then our GMs. And so from an HFC perspective, that's, our sales staff, our memory makers, we've actually already done a lot around compensation. And so a couple of those things that we've already done is we've elevated the game here, where we've already had flex weekends, right? So every 6 months, we give our memory makers a flex weekend where they just take their normal 2 days off and they work that and they have the weekend off, which is kind of unheard of. In retail. We work nights, weekends, and holidays. And so what we've done and to elevate that is for our professionals and experts, we actually gave them every quarter an extra Sunday that they can flex. And for our consultants, an extra Sunday every 6 months that they can flex, which is awesome. Another thing is we've actually reduced the qualifications to attain bonus levels, which, I mean, in a day and age where people are getting laid off and all this kind of things, we're actually making it more attainable to go and get those bonuses. Then we've increased the payouts of those jackpot bonuses. These year-end, like our commission plan and our bonus programs are phenomenal. And then what I really love too is we introduced a new jackpot where we're going to pay up to $30,000 out at the end of the year to each HFC that acquires a certain number of applications. We call them VIPs, right? And then those payouts start at 200 applications. It's like we're blowing the minds and hearts of our memory makers because our people are our greatest asset. And so that's the compensation. So the other thing too that we're doing on the HFC level is our entry level is called an HFA, Home Furnishings Associate. And we have something called Operation STP, Speed to Promotion. Just kind of like the additive we throw in our cars to make them go faster. What we want to do is we want to reduce the time it takes for an HFA to get promoted in HFC to take advantage of all the other perks and bonuses that are available at that level and the next levels forward. So
we also want to
reduce our turnover so that we can continue to compound, again, there's that word, and elevate our people from and promote from the inside up.
You first talked about quality of life at the HFC level with the flex weekends. And so that's work-life harmony, work-life balance.
That's right.
Which is elevating beyond the standard at retail. Then you talked about elevating beyond the normal compensation with our bonus programs, lowering the achievement levels, elevating the payouts. So financial really matters. And then you really talked about elevating the growth because we're in a human capital mindset, right? We care, your success is our scorecard.
That's right.
And you talked about this additive speed to promotion and really focusing on that. That's phenomenal. So anything else on retail that you want to touch on?
Two things real quick. We're elevating our sales managers too, right? And so we have taken a intentional, concerted effort this year to elevate the training and development of all of our sales managers because we believe that everything rises and falls on leadership. And that entry-level leadership position in our organization is one that we're going to foster and just absolutely strengthen. We believe that's going to help not only empower their lives, but the lives of our memory makers and our guests. And then finally, for our GMs, we have something called Operation Set Sail. And this is for our new stores, new locations. I mean, since I've been here, we've opened 6 new locations, technically 7 with Cobra Kai, with our E-team, right? And so we've got new locations, and we also have new leaders to us. And sometimes, folks come into the organization and they maybe they feel like they just got thrown the keys and here's your deal. But what we're going to do is set sails, come around them and be extremely intentional until they get up to speed to that Broad River standards that is giving them an above average income for their life.
I love that. Who comes up with all these ideas?
I got to tell you, we have a team effort, but I'm going to give a nod to Stacy McCormick here. He has this uncanny ability to understand and he's got a great pulse in the business, but he's able to hit the equals button for us. And by the way, that's all of us on Retail Performance, on our senior retail leadership group. We're able to hit the equals button and find where those gaps are and those issues, and then we solve it at the root level for the greater good of our organization, and so that we can continue to elevate our performance.
Love that. And Carl, thanks for coming back on the podcast to talk about all the great ways that we're going to elevate at retail in 2023 and take it to the next level. Thank you so much.
You bet, Charlie. Thanks for having me.
So why is Elevate, in what's happening macroeconomically, what's happening in the world today? Some people might say, hey, let's just kind of keep it. Hey, make sure you don't have a bank run. Make sure that things don't collapse. Make sure that you can weather a recession. We're all hearing about the coming recession. So with that kind of that in the back of your mind, why is Elevate the right word for Broad River for 2023?
It's a good question. My little visual cue that I wrote down here is COVID recovery plan. And I want to kind of build that out a little bit. Because when you think of like Thrive, our word of the year last year, to me, that was about, we were getting back in the same room together. We were getting back to a new normal. People were starting to travel again. But Elevate now is, I think, instead of us recovering from a normal that was imposed on us, I think this is us defining our own new normal. And you've heard me talk about, the training at altitude and the lessons we learned during COVID. Now it's about like memorializing what we learned and making sure that we maintain our fitness levels from really all of those learnings. And so it's about making sure all of those lessons aren't just lost. And now we get to really define what it looks like for us. We get to define that new normal. No one else imposes that on us.
Yeah, that's really, really good. And when you think about elevating for your team, you oversee retail operations, right? And so have you guys started to talk about what that means for your team? Like what does the word elevate mean in retail operations?
So really what we've done this year is we've tried to take the 4 cornerstones and then draw.
Let's talk about what are those 4 cornerstones? Financial,
memory maker experience, guest experience, and innovation.
You got it. Okay.
So what we've tried to do is from each of those cornerstones, really draw a line to kind of 4 departmental cornerstones inside of retail operations. So memory maker experience and innovation stay the same, but then we've taken really inventory protection and inventory productivity and tied that to the financial component. And then we've taken order accuracy and really the idea of writing the sale right and tying that to the guest experience. And I think a layer on that would be, Stacy's done a really good job this year, and you've done a really good job this year of, I think, breathing kind of new air into our customer beliefs and kind of bringing those back to the forefront of our thought. And the whole idea, I kind of make this joke with my team, every customer is vitally important to us. It doesn't say 99% of our customers are vitally important to us or 99.5% are vitally important to us. It's everyone. So that creates really a tall aspiration that we need to chase. And it's really what we're trying to do with order accuracy, because it's the first domino in many ways that affects our unplanned returns, our delivery experience, our customer experience environment. If we can do right there, we save all of those other touches.
Well, I really like how you've taken the 4 companies' cornerstones and you said, hey, how can we really personalize this for us in retail operations? And you kept 2 and then you replaced 2, but they tie back to the original cornerstones, right? So it just makes it a little bit more granular, a little bit more tangible for you guys to impact, see, touch, and feel, and can tie that back to how it impacts financial and or the guest experience, customer experience. So now, how does that manifest? Like, how does that show up? What are you planning to do within the department to elevate in 2023? I'm sure you've got a list of projects, initiatives, goals, targets, KPIs. You've already hit some. I mean, we retired Project Breakwater. We're chasing down, limiting cancellations, et cetera, accelerating speed to customer, getting order accuracy really high, sales audits clean. So what are you looking to do to elevate within retail ops this year?
Yeah, it's a huge question. I mean, I don't think there's one smoking gun or there's one thing. I mean, there's probably 200 small things. But I think the thing I'd want to start with is really our identities. So we'd come up with our identities kind of late last year, but we just got our logos about a month ago. And actually yesterday we launched our logos to half of the retail operations team. And tomorrow, Friday, we're launching it to the other half of the team. So I think that really takes kind of who we are, purpose drives our identity, and us just kind of embodying who we are, but also defining what we stand for. So I think that's where it starts, is us feeling like we're a cohesive team. We know what we believe. We know what our principles are. We know what we stand for. We know what's important to us. We support each other. And that's kind of the core that allows us to take on the next project and the next project, the next project.
Well, I have to ask, what are these identities?
All right.
Share our audience what the newly unveiled identities are.
So we've got the Wizards, the retail operations wizards, and that applies to our REMs and RECs that are in the store.
Retail experience managers and retail experience coordinators.
Absolutely. Okay. And they do magic for our guests, and they do magic to support the store. Okay. They're highly specialized, they're intelligent, they're creative. They are the brand ambassadors, they are the guest ambassadors. And then you've got the River Watch, which is our sales audit team. I like to refer to them as the Coast Guard of Broad River. So they're patrolling the river, they're keeping us safe, they're vigilant. They've got a really strong compass to what is right, binary, right? And then you've got the CIA, the Chief Inventory Analyst. That's Corinne's team. Cindy's leads the River Watch team, and they're our inventory team. So they're really protecting our assets and the financial component of that. They are data driven. They are superior investigators just to solve if a product went missing, where did it go?
Those are 3 great, impactful, meaningful identities.
And the logos are even better. So
they're straight fire.
I don't know if you can show them here, but they're exceptional. Jim did a phenomenal job.
When we share this episode, we need to show the logos along with it. And so we've got the Wizards, the Coast Guard, but the River Watch, who you call the Coast Guard, and then the CIA, the Central Inventory
Chief Inventory Analyst.
Chief Inventory Analyst. I'm sorry. I was thinking Central Intelligence Agency. Okay, that's great. Great.
They are. They protect national assets.
That's right. And so how else does elevating manifest in those 3 departments or in broader retail ops this year?
I think there's so many places I can go with that. I think I'll lean to innovation. Innovation is near and dear to my heart. And again, I think this is coming off of all the lessons we learned during COVID. What are the things that we spend too much time on? Or what are the things that maybe our process is too manual, and that opens us up for either time consumption or human errors. And so we've got so many innovation projects on deck this year, whether it be enhancing DocuSign to protect us from fraud, versatile to take our credit apps to customer facing. We've got retail inventory scan guns that we just physically handed to the REMs yesterday. So that's a massive project. And then you're just really looking at all of our processes and thinking, how do we make them 2023 processes? How do we make them current? And do all our processes deliver on the guest experience, the memory maker experience, and really support the company?
So I think when you look back at this year and you say, we will have had a full year of just innovating at altitude, it'll be a very successful year.
Innovating at altitude.
Yeah, innovating it out. You like that. That came easily right there. So Will, I'm sure you love all of our swag. The retail operations team, they help us become one of the best companies to work for in furniture. They helped us win the Chairman's Award. So honored and grateful for what they do each and every day. As leaders, though, we get to go first, and we have to model that as well. So personally, what are you looking to do or are already doing to elevate in 2023?
You heard me on my other podcast talk about affirmations and how affirmations had such a huge impact on my personal life. So one thing I've started doing is writing business affirmations.
I've already started. At this morning's weigh-in, I am the lightest I've been in 2 years.
Wow! Congratulations!
And I've got a new workout regimen, so I'm committed to that.
My wife was praying for me the other day, and she sent me a voice note. This is like maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and she had said that I just get this sense that you really need to double down on your personal development and your leadership. That's what I've been doing, and I really have doubled down on the personal growth of myself, because I really do believe that as iron sharpens iron, as the sharper I am, the more I can give it away.
So, personal affirmations are either beliefs, negative beliefs I've had about myself, or things that I want to become. Why shouldn't I do that same thing for a business, in the business environment?
Personally too, it's just sharpening my saw, right? Yeah. And being where my feet are. Okay. In today's world with all of the media that's sitting here in our hand and things like that, it's real easy to get distracted.
We talk about, is the cup half full or half empty? Well, I want my cup to be overflowing, Charlie. Yeah. And in order to do that, I got to take care of home life first and put those priorities first. And we really endorse that as a company is make sure the first things are first, your home life's good, and let's bring that success to work. And so that's my commitment for this year. You know that I'm in my happiest when I'm outside. And so continuing to travel, continuing to visit national parks, hoping to get over 30 this year. But really my new challenge for this year is to involve my kids more in those travels. So I'm really going to work really hard this year to be present and be connected. That's great. Not to my phone, but to whoever I'm with. Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.